All right, so get this. Today we're doing a deep dive, and it is going to be Hugh-GE.
Oh, I like Hugh GE. What are we diving into?
We're cracking open the Mr. Beast playbook.
You mean?
It's a real thing.
Wow.
How to succeed at MrBeastProduction.pdf.
Okay, so we're going straight to the source, huh? I like it.
We're going to see what makes this whole YouTube empire tick, right? I mean, you want to unlock YouTube's success, right?
Unlock? Who doesn't?
We're going beyond just the crazy stunts. Okay?
Yeah.
We're going deeper to uncover the method behind the madness.
See, that's what I find so fascinating about Mr. Beast. It's like he's figured out the algorithm for going viral, but he's also surprisingly open about it. He doesn't just throw around buzzwords, like CTR, AVD, and AVP.
Right.
He actually breaks them down. He even talks about obsessing over the exact moment viewers click away, like almost like a scientist in a lab.
It's kind of scary, actually.
Well, it's definitely data-driven.
Okay, but let's unpack this a little bit, right? We've all seen those, clickbait titles and thumbnails. I'm guilty of clicking on them too. But Mr. Beast lays out this surprisingly calculated approach to crafting them. He calls it setting expectations, right? It's like he's figured out a formula for online attention, and he's willing to share it.
And that's crucial in today's world. Think about it. Our attention spans are shrinking. We're bombarded with content every second.
Oh, yeah.
Mr. Beast gets that. He knows that if you don't capture someone's attention in the first minute of a video, you've lost them.
Oh, you are gone. And he means every second. I mean, the source material, it even has this anecdote about him and his team. They're analyzing how lighting affects viewer retention in those first few seconds. Lighting, it just seems so minor. But in the world of online video, that's everything.
It all comes down to this idea of front-loading value, right? Imagine those first few seconds of a Mr. Beast video.
Oh, I know exactly what you mean.
You're not waiting around for the action to start. It throws you right into it. Big cash prizes, crazy challenges. He delivers on the promise of that title and thumbnail instantly, and it makes you feel good about clicking.
Instant gratification. But it's not just about being loud or in your face all the time, right? Mr. Beast also talks about this wow factor, those over-the-top, jaw-dropping moments that make his videos so unforgettable.
Oh yeah, those crazy things you just don't see every day.
You'll never forget it.
Exactly. Remember the video where they lifted an entire house with a crane?
Just casually lifted a house.
Who does that?
I mean, why?
Was it expensive? Absolutely. Was it strictly necessary? Debatable. But it created this sense of awe, a moment that made you go, did that really just happen? And you wouldn't see that anywhere else.
And that's what makes it stick with you,
Yeah.
is that unexpected element that elevates Mr. Beast's videos beyond just another challenge or giveaway video.
Precisely. There's a psychological aspect to it. Those unbelievable, larger-than-life elements tap into something primal. They create a sense of spectacle that makes his content incredibly distinct.
Okay, so we've got these attention-grabbing tactics down. But grabbing attention is only half the battle. Mr. Beast also really emphasizes building a high-performing team. And he is incredibly particular about who he brings on board. He demands nothing less than A players.
He's got incredibly high standards.
Which, it sounds intense, to say the least.
Oh, for sure.
What is the thought process behind that? I mean, is that really necessary?
I think it comes down to understanding that YouTube, at its core, is a business.
Oh, absolutely.
And to build a successful business,
Right.
you need a team that's not just talented,
Okay.
but adaptable, hungry for knowledge,
Oh, yeah.
and obsessed with pushing boundaries.
You have to be on it.
Yeah, and Mr. Beast, he fosters that environment.
It's interesting you say that because in the source material, Mr. Beast actually downplays the whole working long hours thing.
Really?
He's much more interested in results and that always be learning mentality.
Interesting.
What's your take on that?
It's not about just blindly grinding away, right?
Right.
It's about being strategic, being obsessed with understanding the platform, the audience.
Totally.
He wants people who are constantly analyzing trends, studying data.
So it's more about working smart.
Exactly. It's
Yeah.
about being really engaged, not just clocking in and clocking out.
And this isn't just some abstract concept for him.
Right.
The source material actually reveals a lot about Mr. Beast's management style.
Okay, like what?
And surprisingly, it's not all about being cutthroat.
Oh,
There's
interesting.
a very human element to it as
I
well.
like that.
He really stresses clear communication, which is huge when you have a large team.
Absolutely. Yeah, communication is key.
But he also encourages a culture of honesty and learning from mistakes.
Oh, that's so important.
In fact, he celebrates mistakes.
He celebrates them.
He actually says that he'd much rather someone just admit to a mistake
Oh, I see.
so they can learn from it,
Right.
rather than trying to hide it and potentially repeating it.
Oh, absolutely. Address it, learn from it, move on. That's a healthy approach.
It's about fostering that culture of trust and transparency,
Yeah, I like that.
which is pretty refreshing, to be honest.
It is. You don't see that too often in any field, let alone one as competitive as YouTube.
And you know what else? This actually ties into another one of Mr. Beast's core philosophies.
Okay, what's that?
Creativity as a cost-saving measure.
Oh, that's interesting.
He argues that sometimes the most creative solutions are also the most cost-effective.
I'd love to hear an example of that.
Okay, so he uses the example of, like, offering a $20,000 prize for a gaming video.
Okay, that's a pretty standard prize for him, right?
Right. But instead of just handing out cash,
Yeah.
he's like, what if we give them a year's supply of Doritos?
Doritos. It's brilliant.
It's unexpected.
It's funny. It's memorable. And I bet you anything, it's probably a lot cheaper than forking over 20 grand.
Way cheaper.
See, that's what I'm talking about. It's not just about throwing money at a problem. It's about really understanding the spirit of the content and finding those creative workarounds.
He also has this thing about documentation. He
Documentation.
insists on video recording everything.
Wait, everything? Like, what does that even mean?
I know, it seems a bit excessive at first glance, right?
Yeah, little...
I mean, this guy's running a multi-million-dollar empire.
Right.
Surely he doesn't need to sweat the small stuff.
Yeah, delegate.
But that's just it. He understands that even the small stuff matters.
Okay.
That shared knowledge,
Yeah.
that readily available record of decisions and actions
Right.
becomes incredibly valuable as a team grows.
It's like an archive.
It is. It's like building an archive of institutional knowledge.
So if someone has a question,
Exactly.
there's a video for that.
There's a video.
Yeah.
It makes you think about what you're consuming, right? Online, offline. But for Mr. Beast, it's not just about understanding the current trends.
Right.
It's about anticipating what's next.
Yeah. What's going to be big tomorrow?
Exactly. And he
Yeah.
talks about this in the context of his creative process.
Okay.
And it's surprisingly simple.
Oh, really? What's the secret?
Okay, so he has this rule.
Okay.
If an idea doesn't excite him,
Him personally?
first and foremost,
Wow.
he scraps it,
He scraps it.
no matter how much money has already been poured into it.
Really?
He'd rather start from scratch
Wow.
than put out something that he doesn't, like, wholeheartedly believe in.
That's commitment right there.
Right. And it takes guts.
Oh, absolutely.
Yeah.
Especially when you're talking about productions of that scale.
Multi-million-dollar productions.
Yeah.
But it just speaks to his commitment to, like, authenticity.
Yeah, he's not going to put his name on something he doesn't believe in.
He knows that if he's not genuinely hyped about an idea, it'll show in the final product.
And the viewers will see right through it.
Exactly. They can spot a fake a mile away.
100%. And they'll let you know about it in the comments.
Oh, they'll let you know. But,
Yeah.
you know, he's also incredibly aware of the fleeting nature of online trends.
Oh, for sure. Things blow up and then they disappear just as quickly.
Right. He actually compares it to his Last to Leave format.
Oh, yeah, that was huge.
Massive hit.
Everybody was doing it.
But he knew he couldn't just keep churning out the same thing.
Right. The viewers would get bored.
Viewers crave novelty, so you have to constantly reinvent,
Yeah.
even when something's working.
That's a tough thing to do, though, right? Like, if it ain't broke, don't fix it.
Right, but he's like playing a game of chess.
Oh, I see. Always thinking a few moves ahead.
He even compares his approach to, get this, Steve Jobs' philosophy.
Okay, the Steve Jobs.
Yeah, that people don't always know what they want until you show it to them.
It's true, though.
But how do you actually do that?
Right. How do you predict the future of entertainment?
Like, seriously.
Does he have a crystal ball or something?
Right, well, I mean, he doesn't claim to have a crystal ball.
Okay.
But he does offer some, like, really practical advice.
Like what?
He talks about the importance of viewing brand deals as content opportunities,
Okay. Interesting.
not just, like, necessary evils,
Right. Because you got to make money.
which is brilliant when you think about it.
It is.
Instead of those, like, awkward product placements that everybody skips over,
Oh, I hate that.
she finds ways to integrate the brands organically,
Okay.
make them part of the entertainment.
That feels natural.
He actually shares data in the source material showing how this new approach to brand deals, where they're woven into the fabric of the video, actually improves viewer retention.
Wow. So it's a win-win.
It's a win-win. The brand gets exposure, the viewers stay engaged,
And Mr. Beast makes bank.
and Mr. Beast get to keep pushing the boundaries of what's possible. But it all circles back to that core philosophy, right?
Creativity within constraints.
Exactly. So what does this all mean for you listening right now? Mr. Beast's success is built on this deep understanding of his audience, a willingness to adapt and evolve, and that relentless pursuit of what's next.
And surrounding himself with a team that's just as passionate as he is.
Right. Think about the content you consume, the things that grab your attention. What's your ideal information diet?
It's about being mindful, right? Being intentional about what you're feeding your mind.
And more importantly, how can you apply these principles of like constant learning, creative problem solving, and that audience awareness to your own work, your passions, even just your everyday interactions?
It's about approaching the world with that same Mr. Beast-in sense of curiosity and a willingness to experiment.
Because in a world that's just beyond saturated with information, everybody's vying for your attention.
It's true.
Those who can master those skills, they're the ones who truly thrive.
They're the ones who stand out.
And that's a wrap on our deep dive into the world of Mr. Beast.
That was awesome.